Hello, I'm Sonia Wood from Oikos, and today I'm going to tell you all about the TAN book, Learning Language Arts Through Literature, the TAN book, which comes after the purple book. And what follows on from this one is the green book. So now you might be asking, how do I know which one is right for my child? So before you even watch any further, well, you could finish watching, that would be nice, but what you need to do is go and do a placement test. The placement tests are available for you on the website, and you can establish your child's exact language level and their reading level. So then you will know whether this is the book, the TAN book for your student or not, whether you need to go the level before, being purple, or the level after, being green, or either side of that as well. So first do that to establish what they need. And if TAN is what they need and you've already done the placement test, and now here you are and you want to find out about TAN book, the parent book looks like this. The student book has a similar sort of cover, but it's got the parent book cover on the top of the book like that. And that is what the way to tell the difference between the parent and the student, besides the fact that it says student activity book over here. All right. And furthermore, Learning Language Arts Literature has themes within each book. And in the orange book, it was broken into 4 units, and one of the units was research. Well, in this book, one of the units is research as well. And here they are teaching the student how to do a research paper. So now it might be that your student has been using some other language program and you're starting out right from here, and so they never did the orange book. But that's okay too, because if you've done the placement test, you will know that their skill level is at this level, and so now they're just going to progress from where they left off, from wherever their skill level is currently. They're going to continue from that point in their language skills, developing them. You'll also notice that under the language TAN book, LLATL TAN book, you'll see the parent book and the student book, and then you'll see these 4 readers. They are listed in this order because this is the order in which they appear within the student books, the student activity book and the parent book, instructing you, the parent, to say to your child, read Carry On Mr. Bowditch. When they finish reading Carry On Mr. Bowditch, they then do the book study. However, you're going to notice that the book study for Carry On Mr. Bowditch is the very first lesson to do in the TAN book. So now you start the year, or you start this book after completing purple or coming from some other language program, and the very first thing is Carry On Mr. Bowditch, and so you think you must put this book aside and now your student's just going to sit and read every day. That's not the case. You can actually skip past the book study of Carry On Mr. Bowditch. You can just go past it. You see, it's all about ships, and so there's a whole lot of activities pertaining to that. Mapping, end of book study. Here is a little certificate to say the book study, literature study has been done on that book, and now you see it says lesson 1. Okay, so lesson 1 is actually only here. It doesn't say that this is lesson 1. This is the book study to be done when this novel is completed. And that might be halfway through the year. And then you've got the rest of the time to do these other 3 novels. So obviously you're going to have to help your child pace themselves properly, which is all part of training them in adult skills, to have goals, to complete a task by a certain time. One child's going to read very quickly, another one's going to take much longer. I mean, we've had instances where parents have said the child's read all 4 books, just one after the other, and that's not advisable either, because now they've read this book and now they're having to do this book study back at the first book again. So what I'm going to suggest is you give them the first book, they read it, you hold back these other 3, or you buy them when you need them. In other words, you might have budget constraints, in which case you're going to buy the parent book and the student book. Clearly you need both of those and the first reader. Then you can, a little later on, get the next one and the next one and the next one. Or you get all of them at the same time and you put these other 3 away. When the student has finished reading that, you continue with the lessons. When you see the next section is coming up where Bronze Bow is going to have to be read, then you present that book and they read it. That would be one way to manage the reading all the books at once problem. Okay, so that is your readers. As you have already probably gathered, they are absolutely essential. They are linked, these novels are linked with every lesson within the student book. You're going to find in the parent book these instructions to you relating to this book that the student has read. All right, so just to show you them, it's Carry On Mr. Bowditch, it's Bronze Bow, Big Red, and Horse and His Boy. Another reason why they are individually priced as individual items and they're not sold as a complete set is because you might already have one of these titles. For example, this is from the Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis. So it's maybe possible that you've already got this book in your own personal library, in which case you don't need to purchase it. If we made it a complete set, well, then that would tie you in. And we're always trying to make things as affordable as we possibly can for families that are home educating. I'm going to show you some of the content now of the student book for TAN and remind you that all the way through the LLATL program, after every lesson, there's review activities. After a few lessons, there's an assessment. And then there's also enrichment activities, which can or cannot be done. They're not absolutely vital, but they're nice to take it to that extra depth. And they're enrichment activities pertaining to the lessons that have been learned till that point. Another strong emphasis within the LLATL program, which is carried throughout the whole program with each level, is dictation. Remember, Ruth Beechek has been involved in the development of this program, and so all aspects of learning and language have come in, the different models and the different styles of teaching language and teaching reading and writing and comprehension and spelling and grammar and all of that. And so one of the consistencies in the LLATL program is dictation. And a parent will read this to the student and the student writes it out from dictation, which is developing a whole variety of language skills. But I'm not here today to go into the depth and the meaning and behind every single different kind of language skill. We do see on the front cover of the parent book the language skills that are covered in this book, being grammar, reading skills, vocabulary, spelling, creative writing, library skills, research, and higher order reasoning. That's what's covered in here. As I mentioned before, one of the main themes of this book is researching and actually writing research papers. But I just wanted to emphasize the dictation, which I mentioned just now, because it is a theme that carries throughout all of the language LLATL books. As well as the students being exposed to good literature within the selection that has been chosen for this level, there's also excerpts within the book of various pieces of great literature, which exposes them even further to different varieties and form of literature. We hope that the exposure to great literature will encourage expression and creative writing and higher thinking skills. That is the intent. So we also hope that you will have a wonderful journey and that you will enjoy this TAN book with your student, that you as a parent we know is going to learn a lot because you're going to be going through this teacher book and you're going to be learning all what is contained in the student book. And so it's a wonderful learning experience for the parent themselves as well as the student. And please keep it that way. Make it wonderful. Keep it wonderful. These are beautiful, wonderful stories. And it's supposed to be an experience of pleasure and delight so that you and your children learn to love literature, love reading, love studying languages, and just love learning. Thank you for watching. Bye.